Yes, guys, it's time for Magic of the Cup number 2 as we look ahead to the round of 16. I'm joined by local football creator Kat Haddad and the most prolific striker in New South Wales, Roy O'Donovan. Plus, Adamo tries his first Chavapi down at the Bonnyrigg White Eagles. You don't want to miss it on the Magic of the Cup podcast. What's happening, football fans? Welcome back to the Magic of the Cup podcast. It's good to be back for episode 2 because that means that the round of 32 is done. We now look forward to more football. It's coming quicker than it ever has, the Australia Cup. Condensed, played all before the A-League season. We're looking forward to 8 more games over the course of the next 2 weeks. And joining me, I've got 2 new guests. Firstly, I'm going to introduce Kat Haddad, kicking off with Kat. Recently, we've seen you from the Born Offside podcast, from all of that, but recently hosted a Nike event with Sammy Kerr. You've been busy.
I did. It was probably a career highlight thus far, other than this, of course. But obviously, being female, being a sport fan, a football fan, Sam Kerr is just the person that you want to meet. Yeah. So being able to host that event for Nike down at Ultra Football for the launch of the new boots, the Nike Air Zoom Mercurials, which I said probably 1,000 times that night. It was just unreal. Yeah. She is amazing.
Yeah, incredible what she's doing for the game and absolutely bossing it for all Australian athletes over there. And I'm very excited to welcome our next special guest, the most prolific man in New South Wales at the moment, because you may know him from his time in the A-League, but he's tearing it up in the New South Wales NPL now. It's Roy O'Donovan. Thanks for joining us.
No problem. Great to be here.
Roy, what a season you've had. And I love this story. I want to talk about it before we get to the Australia Cup, because we've seen you play for the Jets, for the Mariners, for Brisbane for years. But to take a punt and drop down into the NPL and be just as prolific, you just won the Golden Boot on the weekend, now going into finals. How's the transition been?
Yeah, look, it's different. I've enjoyed it. It's, look, I suppose the A-League pulled the handbrake on me last year, said I was too old. So that gave me a little bit of, ammunition to drop down. And there was no ego attached. It's just me wanting to be a good lad, a good teammate, and have some success. And it's been a fantastic year. It's a really special football club, and I'm proud to be a small part of it.
Yeah, it's huge history. 65 years of history. They've won the national titles twice, Sydney Olympic. The last time they won it was against Perth Glory. They won the NSL in 2002, not too long ago, 20 years ago, in front of 43,000 people in Perth.
Wow. Goes
to show football has existed a long time before the A-League here, and there's a lot of culture at these clubs. You're experiencing that now. On the final day, you guys needed to win by a certain amount of goals as well, and you needed 2 goals to seal the Golden Boot. Both those things happened. You beat Blacktown City, who were coming first, 2-0. You grabbed the Golden Boot. Was it just like was the team talk pass it to Roy so he gets the Golden Boot?
Yeah, well, I usually have it that way anyway. I wouldn't have it any other way, but look, it was, I must say, football has a habit of knocking you down, you know, and I've been in a long time. So when you have those kind of days when everything goes to plan, it's absolutely so sweet. Yeah. And even though, as you said, I'm dropping down a level, I give it one of those. Yeah. It was sweet, a special day, and one I'll remember for a long time. And to have my family there and my young kids at the game, special. And as I said, a really good group. Yeah. And I'm looking forward to what's to come now with the finals and everything else that comes after that with Australian football, you know.
That's right. Manly United this weekend in the major semi. That's going to be a big one. They're also a fantastic club. I wanted to speak to you about it because your career is an interesting one, especially when you look at your time in the UK, because you played in the Premier League, Championship, League One and League Two. So you know how all those leagues are intertwined and how they are connected. Now you've experienced the Australian version. You've gone from the A-League to the NPL. It's completely different, I assume. It's not really connected, or do you see some similarities?
Look, I see some similarity. It's very hard to compare football in the UK to Australian football, and I'm not saying this to knock football down here. It's different because the weather here is different. Yeah. The fan base here is different, but the level of football here is terrific. You know, the quality, the Socceroos that currently play, that come out of this league, the foreigners that come in, the money that's spent. It's football here in Australia hasn't hit its peak yet. Yeah. You know, you're talking about 20 years ago, 40,000 people at NSL games. Yeah. You know, I wanted to touch on today, bringing that back together, you know, getting all these heritage clubs, you know, from every part of Australia back involved with the A-League clubs, Olympic being one, you know, Marconi, you know, as such, Apia Leichhardt in this division. There's teams in Melbourne, Adelaide, Brisbane. Get some more derbies. We've got a derby in the FFA Cup as well with the Adelaide team. So, look, you know, less tribal. Yeah. Bring football back together because there's real potential here. and there's real quality here.
Well, that's exactly right. Football's got enough people outside the game often that don't want it to succeed. Football people need to stick together, whether you're going for a member federation club, an A-League club, whether you watch European football. We need to all stick together and realise that football's football. Get down to your local games. I know your local club, Rydalmere, as well as a Sydney FC fan, you also enjoy your local football as well.
Absolutely. I mean, I've grown up playing for a few different inner west clubs. Love the Canterbury district, so tongue twister. But I most recently played for Strathfield Strikers. I love the community there. The spirit's amazing. The commitment also to the women's football is so great from that club. They are all for leading the way with the women's team, even though, there was one of us for a very long period of time. But it's grown so much and it's such an exciting time to be a part of football because, like you said, there's so much potential and I feel like even this Australia Cup is the perfect example of the love that's out there. And once people start talking about local football, the conversation catches on.
That's right. It does. It was straight fire after episode 1. We knew it was going to be good. We didn't expect that type of reaction to the magic of the cup, and we sent Kat Sasso down to Heidelberg last week to do that feature, and the reaction was huge on all platforms because people are crying out for more stories, more clubs, those community and the history that a lot of people didn't know existed, and then the ones that did finally are getting the limelight and the respect that they deserve. So, for all of you, thanks so much for the love. Make sure you are subscribing to the podcast. You're following Australia Cup on all socials. Flick us a 5-star rating. That's how we move up the rankings and get the rest of the Australian sporting public to have a look at us. But also watching the games on 10 Play. There were some cracking games we were treated to. Let's kick that off because on the first day, again, this is a one-sided affair, but that's not the point of it, right? That's not the point of it. It's that we get to hear the stories. Mindil Aces, which are a beautiful story, the way they were founded by a lot of English migrants up there in Darwin. They were done 6-0 at home to Avondale. Liam Boland stole the show on this day, Kat.
He did.
A hat-trick.
A hat-trick, yeah.
What a striker. We spoke about... One thing I want to say, last week on the show, not last week, however, it was a couple of weeks ago, we had Kuzi here. We had Paolo Retre here. We spoke about certain players. All of them scored in the first round, Roy. I'm going to tell you that right now. Right. You guys got big shoes to fill.
Claudes does this, though. Like, he's the man of prediction.
Right, okay.
He knows his football that well that I think you say a name, they go, oh, no, now I have to step up and go score a goal.
Exactly.
It's good pressure.
Well, it was good pressure. Liam Boland ended up scoring 3. Diaz with 2 off the bench. Brilliant from Avondale. They cruised through. This game, Bentley Greens beat Broadmeadow Magic in extra time. And I wanted to shine the light last week on Jacob Dowse because 3 ACL injuries by the age of 18. Wow. This kid came back and scored on the national scale. So happy to see that. And then Ken Kralicki, which was we spoke about him, played in the MLS. He started on the bench. So we thought, oh no, we've given a terrible tip to the audiences here. He came in off the bench and scored a worldie in extra time to win it. So congratulations to Bentley Greens. That's obviously a big club. They moved through. And then there was this one, Oakley Cannons taking on Bonnyrigg White Eagles. This is one of those clubs you spoke about, Roy. Huge heritage, Bonnyrigg. The result didn't go their way. Oakley were too good. In the second half especially, they went on to score 5 goals. Wade Decker grabbed the 5th, another man we spoke about. But the culture was in full display, and that's everything from the crowd, the players, the food. And we sent local creator Adamo Denigris, who you may have seen him on beIN Sports. You may have seen him from all these different types of podcasts. He was cup-tied this week with Bonnyrigg White Eagles.
I'm at the home of the Bonnyrigg White Eagles in Western Sydney, and it's turned into a bit of a wet and wild, but we don't care because they've got a massive round of 32 clash against the Oakley Cannons from Victoria. Sit back, enjoy, and relax as I take you through one of the great Australian football clubs. Let's go!
The club was founded in 1968 by Serbian migrants. The club bore the name Avala Soccer Club originally, and then in 1991 the name changed to the Bonnyrigg White Eagles. But we work hard every year as a community, as volunteers, to give back something where we came from, and that's about what we're all about.
What I love about this club is I walk around, Serbian flags everywhere. We've got some of the immortals, the Serbian immortals there. What does it mean, not only just for this football club, but the Serbian community when Bonnyrigg is in this competition?
Yeah, look, it's a really big Serbian community around here. So as you said, you can see all the colours. It's very, very proud culture here at the club. Hopefully we can get a good result today and give it back to the people for us.
Pretty excited, to be honest. Like I was saying before, we had struggled a little bit this season. So yeah, this game is quite exciting. Big, I guess, atmosphere is going to arrive. Hopefully gets a lot of fans. So yeah, everyone's looking forward to it. Everyone's buzzing.
I'm here with the Serbian Sergio Ramos. Take a look at those long locks. He's only 19 years old, Maxim Jez, and now he's playing in the Australia Cup. Talk to me, you're a Bonnyrigg junior.
Yes, I am, yeah. I've been here my whole life since I started when I was 5 years old and through now.
And what does it mean for your family seeing you represent this great club?
Oh, they're super proud of me, man. They're loving it. They're going to be coming down watching the game and hopefully we can perform for them.
Gordon, you've had a crazy career. You started here, you went to Southeast Asia, now you're back. What does it mean to be playing in this competition for Bonnyrigg?
Look, it's our third appearance now in the last rounds of 32. It means a lot to the club, to the players. As you guys can see that are here, it's already pretty electrifying here. The fans are turning up already, even though it's been raining all day, so we actually can't wait to get out on the pitch.
Look, I think we showed a few years ago when we played against the Wanderers, in the round of 16, we had 5,500 people at Marconi Stadium. I think 70% of that crowd was ours, which is massive, coming from Western Sydney. But for the community, it's big, we're on the national stage, it's where we want to be, and we want to show off what we have here. I think we're a big Serbian community and we're proud.
I'm in the most important room in this whole football club. You can't smell it, but I'm just going to picture it for you. I'm in heaven right now. Olga, how long have you been working in this canteen?
30 years.
I've never had a cevapi, ever. This is my first one.
You don't know what is the best food. Fresh. Try now.
Look at this. Look at this. This is an 11 out of 10. Unbelievable. You set the bar too high now. Come down to Bonnyrigg, get one of these. Rain, hail, or shine, the stands are packed, the fans are pumped up. Take a look at this. You've got the future of Bonnyrigg. Unfortunately, Bonnyrigg didn't get the result tonight, but I still got to enjoy all the culture, characters, and Serbian pride that make this football club so special. It's clubs like the Bonnyrigg White Eagles that make the Australia Cup the best club competition in the world, and there's still plenty more rounds to go. But until then, I'm Adamo, and I've been cup-tied on the Magic of the Cup podcast.
Brilliant feature, that one from Adamo. Unlucky to the Bonnyrigg White Eagles. Hopefully we'll see them back on the national scale soon enough. And there was one more game on that opening day. That was Modbury Jets, who beat Armidale 5-2. The McCabe brothers.
Yeah, two brothers.
brothers.
I love the story when it's a family story, and they're all in there contributing to the success together.
Yeah.
It's Liam and Hamish.
Yes, Liam and Hamish McCabe, both on the score sheet. Shout out to Jelanovic as well, who scored a double there for Armidale. Weren't good enough on the day. But then we moved to match day 2, and it really heated up. Heidelberg lost to your former club, Brisbane Roar, but there were a few people out there. Costa Petrados gave them some hope. You played with Costa at Newcastle?
Yes, right, yeah. And Kane Shepherd, and then Mackie Petrados, the brother, came on.
Right.
So, they did done really well, actually. They put it up to Brisbane, but a little bit of quality shone through in the end, as the game wore on. And Miliusinic's free kick just kind of just put it over the edge, really, didn't it?
Absolute worldie, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was class.
We spoke about that, the quality between the NPL and the A-League, and now you've experienced the full season in the NPL.
Yes.
You always say the skill's there, but is it that physicality in the last, or is it the tactics that they have to wear the other team down, where all these goals seem to happen late in the game?
It really is, yeah. It's the speed of the game. It's constant in the professional level, especially in the A-League. You've got to be super fit. It's getting younger as well in the A-League, but you're playing in the middle of summer in Adelaide and Perth and all these places. It's hot. Yeah. You've got to be able to be fit, mentally strong to get through. And I think there's so much talent in the NPL across the country. And they, as you said, they have the skill set, but, over time, as the game wears on, that quality and that fitness shines through. And that's why the A-League teams just have the edge. But, you're talking about national second division going to happen in this country. I'd like to see the likes of these heritage clubs, full-time training. They can get to that level, no problem, and then we've got so many teams on deck, more Socceroos, more coaches, and even, a loan system with young boys from Sydney FC, for example, they go to Sydney Olympic for 6 months and earn their stripes. So there's a lot of good things to come, and there's a lot of, as I said, quality in the NPL, but it is ultimately fitness, it is strength and fitness. Yeah.
I think for me, some of those NPL games, and I went to a few in the round of 32, but or the NPL matchups, but that's some of the best football skill I've seen in Australia.
Yeah.
And I've gone to the A-League games too, but I always find myself...
It's raw.
Yeah,
It's very raw,
There's
isn't
a
it?
real
Which is
passion
fun.
in there that
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes might be lacking in the A-Leagues or just when you're kind of in a big stadium, you're not feeling it as much. There is something really beautiful
I think it's
about
personality, you know.
Yeah.
I think it's this almost like kind of a schoolboy thing of expressing yourself that maybe gets lost along the way in professional football.
Yeah.
You get stifled into playing a certain, formation, a certain style. You have to do your job, as Roy Keane would say. You have to, you have to know your role. But in the NPL level, they're coming from an amateur kind of background as such, and as you said, they actually show what they're all about. You know, they have the back heels, they have the kind of Rabonas. So it is certainly different.
Yeah, there's a real hunger in there, and I love it.
Yeah.
And going to the Sydney United Monaro Panthers game last week, I was reminded of that.
Yeah.
It just had that about it, and it was this cold night,
Suburban grounds.
it's in a suburban ground,
Yeah.
but there was something so raw and passionate, and it was amazing. I loved it.
Brilliant. Well, that was unfortunately a one-sided affair.
It was.
We also shot. I'm not gonna tease too much, but another cup-tied segment, Monaro Panthers, because they hired a few buses to take fans and players up from Canberra
I
for
love
the game.
that.
Brilliant, yeah.
Proper club culture. They've been around a long time too, but Sydney United too good on the day. So we're Brisbane Raw. Good to see some minutes for Charlie Austin. He was very much involved in a few of the goals. Do you know Charlie?
I don't know him. I played against him once or twice, but he showed his quality. He's not at the match speed yet,
Yeah.
but a couple of lovely touches. He assisted Ramadak Barry
That's right.
for the first goal.
Yep.
He's a big presence. He's going to need a lot of service. And I'm excited. I love seeing the big names come into the A-League.
Yeah.
Nani again at Melbourne Victory.
Absolutely.
More of it, you know.
Yeah.
I'm all for more marquees because, as I said, there is fit, young, good Aussie players coming through, but we need to get the spotlight on there. So,
For sure.
shows like this, marquee players,
Yeah.
makes a big difference.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's
right.
about bringing attention to the game. Yeah.
And I think, if I was in charge, I'm not in charge of picking marquees, but I want good players. I want good characters too. I don't know, Charlie Austin's Twitter account is anything to go by. He looks like a funny character as well. So
He's got a bit.
Yeah. No, he's definitely off to a great start.
He'll be great. He'll be great for the league. Another great game. This was, for me, probably the match of the round. Wollongong United took on Green Gully. I was so devastated that the game had to be moved to the synthetic pitch. They didn't get to play at their home, Macedonia Park, but they still put up a great fight. 3-2 on the day. Green Gully ran away with a great goal from Gianluca Iannucci.
Yeah, Iannucci is amazing.
Yeah.
That goal was great.
Fantastic finish.
Yeah.
Top corner. And Josh Hope, of course, scored the winner. Credit to Wollongong United, though not even an NPL side. So they're a local side in the Illawarra Prem. That's the home of community football here in this state. So many
absolutely
clubs
is,
that have
yeah.
survived without the help of the member federation. So
Yeah.
brilliant from them. Adelaide City just got past Logan Lightning. Adelaide City is another huge club, and they've got a massive clash coming up we're going to talk about, but I want to give a shout out. I spoke about the African-Australian talent in Adelaide, and we've seen that come through at Adelaide United. Adelaide City, I spoke about a few players. I left one out, so I apologise. I'm going to talk about him right now because Ayom Majok didn't score the goal, but went on a mazy run, played for Western United before going to Adelaide City, set up the goal, born in South Sudan, but he's still a teenager, phenomenal footballer, so credit to him and the rest of that team. Hopefully they can bring an upset in the next round.
A cup set.
A cup set. Exactly right. Brisbane City with a comfortable win despite going down 1-0 against Coburn. They came back to win at 3-1. One of your former teammates, Daniel Bowles. He's playing for Brisbane City.
That's right, yeah. That's right. Is there Gaffer Smith as well?
That's right, yeah.
So
You would have played against Smith.
Yeah. A few pre-season friendlies when he was still playing for them as a player.
Yeah.
But Bowles is a good boy. He's had plenty, over 100 A-League games, bit of success along the way. So that's good to see all these old names pop up and still have a bit about it. I love it.
And they can influence the next gen.
Absolutely,
Bowles is a great player, but quite young he finished.
Yeah, he is, yeah.
He opened up a few, we spoke about it last week on the show, opened up a few cafes in Brisbane. Don't know if you've been to any of them.
I have, and they're very good.
Decent,
Sister Cafe, really good.
That's important.
I have to say that now, don't I? As you brought it up. But you're right, bringing on the next generation, obviously he's gone into business and that's his prerogative, but there's certainly no reason why he can't pass on his knowledge to the next big thing out of Australia. And he's got plenty of knowledge. As I said, he's had success in the A-League and success in business. So,
that's valuable experience. We need people with that kind of experience to stay in the sport to some extent.
Exactly right.
Because we have too many people making decisions that don't understand the intrinsic value of the way the game's connected to community.
Here we go.
I'm getting political. Let's move on.
Yeah.
You know what? I love it, Kat. I love the passion. I'm going to move it on before Kat gets cancelled. No, I do love it. But you're 100% right. We need to keep these football people in the game. Magpies Crusaders, what a story. Up in Mackay. Beautiful place, beautiful part of Australia. Unfortunately, they were done 6-0 by a very strong Macarthur side led by Dwight Yorke. It was his first competitive match as a manager.
Yep.
You played with Yorkie?
Yeah, former teammate. Yeah.
Back at Sunderland?
Yeah, I've been around that long. He's a former teammate. Yeah.
That's cool. That's very cool.
Yeah. Fantastic. Again, you talk about the glitz and glam.
Yes, great.
It's a great name to have in the league. And I tell you what, on the pitch, they backed it up as well. Daniel Azani, who you saw out on the town the other week.
Yeah, right before, about a month ago.
No,
he was well behaved.
He was fine. So was I.
Yeah.
For the record.
Good.
I bumped into him. I recognised him, asked for a photo, obviously talked up the Born Offside podcast. I said, you got to get on it, all that kind of stuff. But no, he was cool, but he didn't drop anything about signing with Macarthur at the
this
time.
is before he signed?
This was right before.
Okay.
So I think it actually came out maybe 2 weeks later. And so I was like, what are you doing in Australia? And he's like,
holiday.
Just seeing the fam.
Yeah. Well, it was a good. They let him take the pen. And he got back with a goal, so he scored that. Danny De Silva scored a golazo as well on that one. And Alassane Touré, we know how good he is.
Touré had an amazing game.
Yeah. Scored a double. Goalkeeper didn't know anything about that last one. The 6-0 went straight past him. Fantastic finish. Then we had an A-League matchup on that day as well. Your former club, the Newcastle Jets, unfortunately going down to Adelaide. What have you made of the Jets?
Yeah, look, last year on their day, they had 4 or 5 really good days.
Yeah.
And they were like top notch.
Yeah.
But to be honest, when they came up against a seasoned outfit, and I mean Tony Popovich victory, for example, Mariners a couple of times, they got done, you know. And they've lost, for me, one of the best players, best attacking players in Daniel De Silva, I was going to say there. The Brazilian boy, Daniel Peña, was a top quality player. I would love to play with him. And it's going to be hard to replace. They've got some good players in Soterio and Bohaja with pure pace. Yeah. But it's going to be a different dynamic. Yeah. So, I'm hope as a former player that they go well, but it's going to be tough.
It will be very tough.
I think they've still got to find their rhythm with those new signings as well.
Yeah, and they are young signings themselves. I mean, Trent Bohaja, we know how good he can be, but not a super seasoned A-League veteran, so they're going to take some time to find their feet. Adelaide look good.
Yeah.
I mean, they're very good in this competition, the most successful club in the Australia Cup. How about the, piece of ingenious from Hiroshi Ibusuki, the bicycle kick? You questioned the defending from the Jets on this one.
Yeah, and I think they'll question it themselves because as that ball is coming in, they need to be closer. They need to, maybe not stick their head on top of him, but just make themselves bigger, make it difficult because they've made his mind up. He's like, all right, I'll give it a go.
Yeah.
And he had nothing to lose, and what a goal.
Yeah, fantastic.
Terrific magic of the Cup, Australia Cup and all that.
Yes.
But
that was a bit of magic.
Jets
right there.
fans won't be happy.
Yeah.
You know, Arthur Pappas won't be happy. No. So,
but we're here for the bicycle kicks.
Yeah.
Keep them coming.
That's true. Yeah.
Keep them going.
Exactly
right. It was good for the wow factor. There was plenty of goals in this first round. Kat, you had a stat about that. How many goals were in this round of
66,
which is the second most.
Second most of, I think, at least in round of 32. Yeah.
Brilliant. And we saw some good goalkeepers too, so that could have been a whole lot more. Then we had a standalone match. This was a fantastic game. I know you're in the A-League. You're a Sydney FC fan, Kat. Sydney FC 3-3 against the Central Coast Mariners.
It's quite a game.
A yo-yo of a game. Went all the way to penalties, and Kololo Caceres has been great. Cummings with the goal in the last minute. How good was that?
That comeback was amazing. Wow. Yep.
Jason Cummings, I mean, your former club now, he's playing.
Yep.
You've also played in the Scottish Premiership as well. What have you made of his introduction?
Brilliant. Love it. I love what I love about him, not just he's a very good player, undoubtedly. Yeah. Very good player. Yeah. He's got a bit of personality.
Exactly right.
He's got something to say when they put the camera in front of him and the microphone. He's got something to say. You know, he's fun. Yeah. He's bubbly. Yeah. And he can back it up with his football. And that was a great game, Sydney FC and Mariners, because Sydney FC on paper have lost a lot of quality and haven't replaced it just yet.
Yeah.
No.
So, but they still look good.
They look
even on paper, they're the seasoned outfit. And as you touched on, Anthony Caceres, big year for him. I think he can push for the World Cup.
Yeah.
Because I think he's got so much ability. That's the last 2 years he's really shone.
Yeah.
And it looks like he can run again from midfield now. So they need a few more signings, Sydney FC, but still strong enough to get through to the next round.
Well, they're a big club, and you'd say he was the diamond in the rough last season. It was a season to forget, but not for Anthony Caceres.
No,
he was
very good.
But you mentioned the World Cup. There's a lot of people that are calling for Cummings to play for Australia. Could you see him lead the line for the Socceroos?
Yeah, look, McLaren is the thing with Graham Arnold. I think Graham Arnold likes a big target man. So Mitch Duke has played that role. They've made Fornaroli in Australia now to play that role because Fornaroli doesn't run to channels. He's not outstandingly quick, but he puts his backside in, and he's a great hold-up man. Yeah. Now with Cummings, he's got a bit of everything. He can hold it up, he can run. Okay, he's not rapid, but he can run and he can score goals. So yeah, he should be in the mix. And if he's Australian, then why wouldn't you be looking at him, you know? And for me, why not?
Yeah. I mean, he was brilliant on the day. He sent it to extra time, but he couldn't get past the big wiggle, Andrew Redmayne, in the penalties. What a moment.
The grey wiggle, yeah.
The grey wiggle. He told him to dance on the line, Kat, and Redmayne stepped up.
And you know what? He brought the moves back. The pens weren't great, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think 2 didn't go in.
Yeah,
so
two Mariners pens over the bar.
I feel a bit bad for Mariners in that sense, you know, because they didn't have a full shot at all 5 pens. But Redmayne was just too good in the end.
That's right. Always tough in a shootout. But I want to talk a little bit about Montgomery, because your former teammate as well is doing a great job as manager there at Mariners, isn't he?
Doing a great job. Always a very tight budget. Central Coast Mariners, as we all know, and they're quick to tell us.
Yeah.
But he hasn't played a certain style of football. They're young, they're fit, they're hungry. They're kind of moulded a little bit in his style. I suppose the style that Neil Warnock would have had at Sheffield United. Yeah. You talked about a while ago, hunger, desire, fitness, and they're all kind of in their mid-20s. And I think Vukovic is a great sign in there as well. Birighitti was the goalkeeper of the A-League the last 2 years. Yeah. But they're bringing back a Socceroo, you know. That's so they won't even miss Birighitti, which is saying an awful lot. Yeah. And with the young players they have, they need that bit of leadership, and he certainly has that. Yeah,
definitely. When you look at their backline, they were fleeced by European clubs, right? A lot of them going over to the Scottish Prem. We saw Miller head over there, and as well Kai Rolls, who's been brilliant for the Socceroos and for his club. Now played for Hearts on the weekend in the Edinburgh Derby. Now we talk about a club with a tight budget, then we go to a club with a fair bit of budget. Melbourne City had a tough time away at Newcastle Olympic. This game was a game of 2 great goalkeepers. I want to give a shout out to Adam Pearce, the goalkeeper for Newcastle, some great saves. Tom Glover for Melbourne City, also some great saves.
Great name for a keeper.
Yes.
It makes sense, doesn't it?
He couldn't play anywhere else, could he? Could have been a baseball player as well.
Tom Glover was great. Unfortunate, Newcastle Olympic hit the post twice. They could have knocked out one of the biggest teams in Australian football, but that's the magic of the cup. And then the final day, we had 4 games. We had an A-League semi-final rematch. Western United beat Melbourne Victory again. Yeah. Johnny Aloisi's done a good job there.
Done a great job. I think we've all read and heard the stories that he was out of football for 3 years. Yeah. He had a heart problem. He didn't think he was going to get back in. Yeah. And what a great job he's done, you know. And he's what I've noticed, and I'm on the outside looking in. Yeah. But when I watch TV or I watch him on the sideline, they look like they've got a good culture. They play for each other. When they won the league, they were all around in a huddle, in a bunch. There was no one superstar. Yeah. And when they won the comp last year, you know, no one was happier than John Aloisi. But you know, they're kicking on. They're not resting on their laurels. They made Victory look pretty average. Yeah. Obviously, there was an OG to start it off. Yeah. But the wing play, the pace they have out wide, Lockie Wales playing some of his best football. That's right. It's exciting. And obviously, Diamante is getting older. Yeah. Didn't play much last year. So that's an interesting dynamic. Him coming back. Can he give us one last, flourish of his undoubted qualities? So, it should be a good season for them.
Great management from John Aloisi, though, to use him only as needed. You know, he's not overplaying Diamante. He's playing him in the last half an hour.
But that's what you should do. Use these players as a resource,
that's right? Yeah.
Absolutely. Know what works for them and what's going to work for the team.
Absolutely.
We saw a cracking goal in that game, didn't we?
Brimmer.
Knows how to score a big one, doesn't he? Yeah.
What a goal.
Best player in the A-League last season. He, of course, won that award. Peninsula Power. Interesting club. Did you say you were up watching videos on Peninsula? They've become one of your favourite teams in this competition.
I mean, favourite's rich, but I don't want the fans to be like, oh, now she's going to know everything. But it's a team I hadn't heard much about. Yeah. Obviously, they're from Queensland, but I believe this is the furthest now that they've gone through the cup. So they've never made a round of 16 before. But just learning more about the club and everything, and they're very passionate. I think this is just a common thread, right, with these clubs, is they're driven by people that have been involved for 20-something years, and they're in for the right reason. But they played really well.
Yeah, beautiful part of town as well. Redcliffe and Malachi Love Samira scored a double.
Yeah.
Some great goals.
What a name.
Yeah, what a name.
We were talking about
He has to make it. That name needs to be in the A-League, huh?
It does.
That is outstanding. Like O'Donovan, it just brought you to hell. But Love Samira.
It's made
that's
for the
a name. That's brilliant.
And I like how it's always the full name as well. It's Malachi
I have
Love
to.
Samira.
Not just Malachi. That's born on its own. But Love Samira. And he scored 2 goals. Yeah. And the second one was a cracker. Brilliant. Great, but great to see, as you said, the volunteers at these kind of clubs, they're the lifeblood of football, you know? They put their heart and soul to these clubs. they don't even know Brisbane Roar are playing. You know, it's just all about Peninsula
All
Power.
about
so,
them.
Yeah, so
I love
it's
it.
great. It's great when they do well.
Well, there you go. You've got Roy O'Donovan's blessing to get into the A-League. You'll have a few clubs calling you. Keep your phone off silent, Malachi, please. And the last game of the round was Wellington Phoenix with a 4-0 win against Devonport. I was devastated. Devonport. You know, George Best played for Devonport City.
He played everywhere, though, didn't he? in the end, I think he done the rounds. Whoever had cash, he was there.
He was there for a bit of cash and a good time. But unfortunately, they went down 4-0. Ben Wayne scoring a double. But Bozidar Krajev, we got to see finally the Bulgarian. 24 caps for Bulgaria, and he signed for Wellington Phoenix, scored as well. He's won a Danish Superliga, so very interesting to see him, and Wellington could very well go far in this competition. Now, it would be rude if I, with the most prolific man in New South Wales next to me, didn't pick a goal of the round. So I'm going to show you guys, for those of you that are watching the Magic of the Cup right now, let's have a look at our top goals from the round of 32.
Sivatuara, what a hit! That is superb!
There's a go! Oh, what a goal! Gianluca Iannucci! What a superb finish from the substitute.
Here's the long range effort, and it's a beauty from the substitute. That will do it. Nikola Miljustic.
Da Silva wraps it around. That is sensational. From Danny Da Silva is a piece of beauty.
He's trying to turn provider here. Ibusuki! Spectacular! Hiroshi Ibusuki has scored one of the goals of the Australia Cup.
The love Samira striking off the bullet.
There you go.
That is unbelievable.
Brimmer loads up a long shot. Oh my goodness! The Johnny Warren medalist has shown his class and quality in the most magnificent style. Jake Brimmer, take a bow.
There you have it, some crackers, and it's only the first round of, I guess, the final TV rounds. We were treated to so much there on 10 play. Roy, what was your goal of the round?
Yeah, well, look, as we discussed, Malachi Love, Samira, great name, great goal scorer. He was very unlucky.
Yeah.
He just got pipped by Nikola Miljustic with a knuckle puck for Brisbane Roar, and I hope we see plenty more of that this year on Channel 10 Paramount, wherever it's on.
Definitely some screamer there. Now, I want to go to you, Kat, with this one, because you got down to a few games. You watched plenty of them. Match of the round, which one was it?
So, look, I'm connected to Wollongong United.
Right.
One of my friends, he's the coach.
Okay.
His name's Billy Sovolos.
Right.
And shout out Bill. He also played for Portsmouth under-21s.
There you
Fun
go.
fact for you.
Right.
I really enjoyed that game, the
Yeah.
Wollongong United against Green Gully.
Mm-hmm.
There were just loads of goals.
Yeah.
At one point, you're not quite sure who's going to win, and for me, that's a good football match.
Definitely.
I don't want it to be obvious. I don't want to sit through 90 minutes of knowing exactly who's winning. So for me, that was the game.
Yeah.
Although I did love attending the Sydney United Monaro Panthers game, as I said. Monaro Panthers, the score sheet doesn't show it, but they played very well.
Yeah.
The first 15 minutes was all them.
Yeah.
It was all in their box.
Couldn't finish.
They couldn't finish.
Yeah.
And also another shout out to Andre Carl, who's a forward for Monaro Panthers, and he got
them there with a last minute goal.
He didn't.
Yeah.
Or he didn't score.
No?
He didn't score. I don't think so. I don't
Okay.
know.
All right, we'll double check that.
Yeah, we'll double check.
I think
Fact
I'm right.
check.
Oh, I think I'm right on that
yeah,
one.
Claudes is always right.
But it's always good. I mean, we could have easily picked Sydney versus Mariners, but it's nice to see these clubs that you don't usually see.
Totally. And you know what? I love seeing the two kind of A-League teams together because it's just one less that's going to be.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly.
Give the underdog a chance, isn't it?
Absolutely.
That's the key here. I mean, that's what we want to see. We want to see the underdog, even though I'm a player and I'm usually playing for the bigger club against the smaller club.
Yeah.
It's great to see the underdog, you know, when you're
as a
neutral.
smaller club person.
Yeah.
We like the opportunity.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's great. That's what the story. That's the story of their own, right?
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
you know, and that's what I'm looking forward to moving forward. Sydney United versus Western United. You know?
I'm so excited
I
for
can't wait
that
to
game.
see all these mad Croatians filling the stadium
See what?
and absolutely causing chaos. It's great
Yeah.
because that's what football's all about, you know.
I know. Let's see what Pat and Tell Me does now.
Yeah, they've got some brilliant fans. Let's go there now, shall we? Let's go. That game's on Sunday, the 14th of August. The game's kicking off on Wednesday, but let's talk about that game because one man I want to give a shout out to started in the number 10 role for Western United for Johnny Aloisi was Nicholas Milanovic, actually a Sydney United youth product. So he's going to be returning home for this game.
Oh, how cool is that?
Yeah. So as you said, I mean, the fans are going to be packing it out. Adenza Park is a tough place to go. That synthetic pitch.
Yep.
You would have played on it this season.
Yes,
It's tough as nails, isn't it?
It's tough, and just as tough as the players, believe it or not. Look, they're a good club. They're well supported.
Yep.
They're a historic club, right?
Yeah.
Very, yeah.
So, like, they'll be excited about this. Is a party. Western United are coming to town, and they're Sydney United. We're the big boys here.
Yeah.
So it's this is the game I want to watch. You know.
Yeah.
And look, there's some quality in Sydney United as well.
There is.
Former A-League player, as you said, Antelmi.
Yeah.
Chris Payne was terrific in number 10 for Sydney United last game. So a lot of quality, a lot of experience. And we talk about hunger and desire, and will not want to give West United an inch of space.
Yeah.
So watch that space, definitely.
Brilliant. That's going to be a great game. The football, of course, kicks off even earlier. It kicks off this Wednesday on August 10th. You've got Modbury Jets. Now, love this story because they're actually a second-tier team. They've gotten this far. They take on Macarthur, who look ruthless at the moment. Miller, former teammate of yours. Tomislav Uskok as well is there at the back for Macarthur. There's a few familiar faces. When you talked about all those young players they've got up front, can we see this going any other way but a Macarthur win?
Yeah, no, it's Macarthur every day of the week and twice on Sunday,
Yeah.
unfortunately. Arzani, looks like he's getting a chance to get back to his best, which we all want to see. De Silva look great. So, I think they've just got that little bit too much quality. Unfortunately, Kat, for the underdog this time, but I'm usually on your side there.
That one will be tough. I mean, look, if history is anything to go by, we usually get an upset in the round of 16. That's where most of them have fallen. Bentley Greens play Sydney FC, Kat. Any chance of an upset?
I think Bentley Greens could do it.
Ooh.
Right?
They had a really great round of 32. And I also just want to see it. I'll be honest with you guys. Like, it would just be awesome, even though I'm technically a Sydney FC fan.
They've got a new ground as well. They're celebrating that.
Bentley Greens do, and it's their home game.
Yeah,
how exciting for them! It's the same as the Sydney United story. It's so cool for a big club like Sydney FC to walk in there and they're like, no, this is our home.
Yes,
I love that narrative.
They've beaten Wellington Phoenix before. They have knocked out A-League opposition. They could do it again. This is what I love about the Australia Cup. The rules are kind of bent in the Australia Cup. So one of them is that if a member-fed club does draw an A-League opposition, it has to be at the member-fed's home ground.
Yeah.
I like
love
that rule.
Yeah.
And the other one is the draw's set up so that a member-fed team needs to make the semi-finals.
Yeah.
Right? That doesn't happen in many countries.
Yeah.
I kind of like that we bend the rules,
It's a little bit of a fix, but in a good way.
It's a good kind of fix.
Yeah. Can we say that? But it is. I think it could be a step too far for Bentley Greens, but they're a big enough club and they're a successful enough club to actually challenge Sydney FC. So it should be an interesting game.
Yeah. And then, I never know really when you are an NPL team what you want to play. Do you want to play an A-League opposition or do you want to travel? Because it's also good to get the boys out of town. The Green Gully guys will be happy that they're travelling once again. They're going to Peninsula Power, beautiful place of town. So hopefully they get a couple of nights out after the game up there in Queensland as well. You'd hope so. I wanted to ask you that one, Roy. You've played Brisbane, Newcastle Mariners, and now Sydney Olympic.
Yes.
Now I know now you're on that side of the career. You're a family man. But at least looking from the outsides, we'll say.
All right.
Who parties the best?
Let me think. Well, Mariners were down at the bottom of the league, so they must have been some good party animals there. Couldn't get a point. Jets were a lot of family men at Jets. Brisbane, I don't think Robbie Fowler was letting us out too much. He knew the history of football players and nights in the town. But let's say Mariners year one, we must have been drunk the whole time we played that season.
So that was a fun season then. Sounds great.
Horrendous. It was hard.
That's the one beautiful side of no relegation.
Yeah, that's it. No, but I must say before Mariners fans send me a lot of hate mail, the second season when Paul Ocon came in, we had a lot more structure. We were lucky not to make the finals. So. I'm not a hater. Just because I play for Jets, I'm not a hater. Genuinely, we were just poor side that year.
Down hitting up the bars along Terrigal Beach,
that's
the boys.
Pocket bar there got raided.
Absolutely brilliant. Then we are treated to 4 matches to finish it off, and these games are all coming within a week. So on Wednesday, August 17th, it finishes. We've got 4 games. Oakley Cannons taking on Brisbane City. What's cool about this is you got 2 Brisbane teams. You got Brisbane City and Brisbane Roar both flying to Melbourne on the same day. So I wonder whether they'll travel together.
You think they do that?
I don't know, but that'd be cool, wouldn't it? For the Brisbane City lads?
It would.
I mean, they're both going to Melbourne. It's not going to happen, is it?
No.
They're like,
I'll let you have your conversation there and then you can just ruin it for you.
It's not going to happen. But look, Brisbane City do play against Oakley Cannons the same night that Brisbane Roar go down there and travel and play Avondale.
Yeah.
How do we see that going?
Banana skin for Brisbane Roar.
Yeah.
Again, similar to Bentley Greens. Decent sized club.
Yeah.
Good history, Avondale. So it's their cup final.
Yeah.
Whatever happens after that game, if they can beat Brisbane Roar, that's the feather in the cap.
So true.
And Charlie Austin and all the stories that come with that. It's like, right, lads, this is the one.
a big
90
scalp.
minutes,
Yeah.
put everything into it. But again, these A-League teams coming to town, if the A-League team scores early, it settles the nerves. They can play their game then. But
The longer it stays down.
then it's a game. You know, so it is a banana skin, definitely.
Yeah, that'll be a great game.
I like
Oakley
that
Cannons.
banana skin.
We saw Oakley Cannons.
Yeah, and calling out Joseph Knowles, who
Yeah.
got the most assists in the round of 32. I think he got
There you go.
like 32.
He was creating
or something like that.
He was creating everything. Every
Yeah,
ball
yeah,
went
yeah.
through him. Such a good player. Oakley Cannons, they dominated. They almost scored 32 goals against Bonnyrigg. They scored 5. But it was a one-sided affair. Now they welcome Brisbane City. Historic club, also very strong up there. And Bowlesy hopefully will be cooking up the coffees for the boys on the travel down. So lots of familiar faces. Then we have another A-League affair. We have Melbourne City hosting Wellington Phoenix. Costa Barbarousas has terrorised them for victory, terrorised them for Sydney FC. Now's his chance to knock them out with Wellington Phoenix. But Melbourne City almost slipped up in that round away at Newcastle Olympic. Are they still the favourites though against
Yeah, they are. I mean, they're a little bit rusty, I'm sure, against Newcastle Olympic. Newcastle Olympic is their biggest game of the last couple of years. But the firepower Melbourne City have, you know, literally it's half the Socceroos squad, isn't it? You know, so it's like, you know, if McLaren doesn't turn up, doesn't have a great game, sorry, we've got Lecky. If Lecky doesn't play well, sorry, we've got Naboo. You know what I mean? If he doesn't play well, we've got Tilio. So they've got so much strength and depth. And don't get me wrong, Wellington, good team. You talk about Barbarousas, great player. David Ball works his backside off. They've made some good signings as well. They won't be a pushover. They play some nice football under Uffy. But yeah, Melbourne City are the team to beat in Australia right now. They are the kiddies as such, you know.
And if you care about the Socceroos, I think you almost want them to be doing well, don't you?
Coming into the World Cup in November, December time.
We need minutes for those lads.
You want them firing. Yeah, exactly.
Well, one thing I will say, an away game doesn't mean anything to Wellington Phoenix. Of course, they played away for 2 whole years. They're used to travelling, and I'm sure they'll be up for this one. Last game, this is a beautiful game. Let me stress this. Anyone who's listening to this, watching this, that lives in Adelaide, do yourself a favour and get down to Adelaide City, the most successful club in Southern Australia, taking on Adelaide United, who are the most successful club in this Cup's history. This is going to be fantastic. It's an Adelaide derby, not one that you get to see every week.
No way.
Because Adelaide City don't usually get to play against them. Lots of their products have gone on to play for Adelaide United. We know Johnny Aloisi, we spoke about. He's one of the most famous. The Vidmar brothers all came out of Adelaide City. And centre-back Lachlan Barr, who's playing for Adelaide United, joined from City just last year. They snapped him up, so it's a big game for him.
That's great.
This is probably my pick. Can we see Adelaide City, Kat, do it against Adelaide United?
Absolutely. I mean, like you said, so much of their talent has come from Adelaide City, or United's talent has come from City. So the connection between the clubs is there. And there's the beauty of the Cup is anything can happen. It's anyone's game.
And it's end of the season for these NPL guys.
Yeah, they're fit.
That surely sways it in their favour slightly, right?
They're fit. There's probably a lot of these guys, as you touched on, have history with Adelaide United. What should have been, what could have been. They'll be out to prove a point.
That's right.
And this is a little taster of the future of Australian football, right? Bringing these big heritage clubs back in and having derbies all over the place. So,
right.
as you said, it could be an upset.
It's going to be brilliant. For years, Sydney has had the derbies. We know Queensland had some derbies before. Melbourne has had derbies. The distance derby, if you call that one, Perth against Wellington.
It's a stretch, literally.
But Adelaide has been robbed of that derby, so they finally have it. I know it's a Wednesday night. Do yourself a favour. If you're not watching that game, get down to that game. If you're anywhere near Adelaide, it's going to be an absolute cracker, guys. We've gone through all the games coming up. I cannot wait for him. Nothing left to do but sit back and enjoy all of them.
Can't wait.
But I want to have a little bit of fun. I want to kick it off nice and early here because last week on the show we gave away a match ball. I've got another one to give to you guys.
Right.
And Roy, you can never have too many footballs in the backyard. You give it, you know.
Got a few hat-trick balls. I just want to try that in there.
Yeah, but you don't kick those ones,
No,
do
I
you?
don't.
They go up in the museum.
My young boy does.
Yeah. It's a match ball you can give the young lad, the official match ball from this season.
Okay.
Last week we saw Kuzi just narrowly go down in this test. I've changed it a little bit. Kat, good chance for you to get your hand on a match ball. I know you're thinking of making a comeback to football next season.
Yeah,
so
I am. I'm getting major FOMO.
Well, there you go. This is your chance to get back. Now, it's a Roy O'Donovan quiz.
Oh, what a quiz. My favourite.
Your favourite type of quiz. How well do we know Roy? Now, Roy, I'm going to start with you.
Yes.
Your A-League debut was in October 2015.
Yep.
If my calculations are correct.
That's right.
It was against Perth Glory.
Yep.
What was the final score that day?
3-2 Mariners.
You know your career very well.
I do.
Kat, for you to get a point on the board.
That scared me.
Did Roy score that day?
Yes.
Of course he scored that day. Roy scored on his A-League debut, scored the first goal for you guys.
Yeah.
That was a fantastic game. Roy, I'll come back to you.
Okay.
Who was your biggest A-League win against?
Against Mariners. for Jets 8-2.
You just love
Oh,
scoring.
well, it's a big score. Like, it's a big. Again, I'm not hating on the Mariners again, yeah, but just happens that way, lads.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, you love scoring against your old club, don't you?
Yeah, I do. Actually scored against the Jets at the weekend in a friendly for Olympic. Throw that in there as well. A little bit of a bomb. But yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I think it's always gives you that extra bit of motivation.
Yeah.
I don't know, you might feel you've been hard done by, or you've got a point to prove. And also, when there's a 50-foot banner of your face on a snake behind the goal, you kind of feel obliged to score
I feel like
a goal.
that would motivate you ever so slightly.
Certainly gets you going. A small bit, yeah.
I love the F3 derby. I love those fans.
Yeah,
and
it was great.
You did travel down, and you guys scored 8 against the Mariners there. Brilliant.
8 goals.
8 goals. You also did score in the cup against the Mariners again.
Yeah.
For Brisbane.
Yes.
You won the penalty and took the penalty.
Yeah, against Bonnyrigg, who we just talked about earlier. Unfortunately, we lost that game.
Yeah, he got you in the shootout, didn't he?
He did, unfortunately, yeah. He's that good. But yeah, the magic of the cup, I talked about this before, it hasn't been magic for me. I've had a horrendous time in the FFA Cup, which is now the Australia Cup.
Yeah.
But luckily enough, I've played a lot of league games, so as I touched on, we'll keep on the positive,
We'll stick on the positive.
We speak with the other teams, just not mine.
Maybe it's not over yet. Maybe seen an Olympic go on a cup run. That's what we'd love to see. That's what we'd love to see.
I like your style. You're good.
Yeah, good. Kat, for you to draw it level and send it to a tiebreaker.
All right, let's go.
All right. So the biggest A-League win there was against the Mariners. How many goals did Roy score that day?
Because you didn't say that. What was the total score
The
again?
final score was 8-2 in favour of the Jets. How many goals did Roy score that day?
So one was a pen and one was a goal.
No, the pen was a different game. The pen was in the Australia Cup. This one was an 8-2 win. How many did Roy
got 2
bag?
goals.
Correct.
Are you psychic? Because you literally one of my
is
goals
it
was from
the
blame one was a pen.
contact?
Oh, really?
It's
What was
good.
the pen there
I'm
as
trying
well?
to look away here. You play poker.
It was a pen?
Literally in me. Like in my soul there.
Kat, brilliant from you. He did score a double
Wow.
that day, which means I'm going to send it to a tiebreaker, and this is truly anyone's, right? This is a tiebreaker. I doubt you even know this one because this is crazy. How many minutes has Roy O'Donovan played in the A-League? Minutes.
Okay.
90 minutes in a game. Strikers often get rotated.
This is more of a math question.
This is
I
closest
don't
to...
get rotated.
Closest,
Don't do that. So that'll help you.
Take that back.
closest to the answer is going to win it. How many minutes has Roy O'Donovan played in the A-League?
Maths. I haven't been to school
How's your
since I was
maths?
15 as well. Terrible.
I'm letting Roy go first.
You multiply it by how many seasons, 90 minutes a game.
Yeah. I played 120 odd games.
Okay, there you go. That's a hint, Kat.
120 odd games, so talking maybe 10,000 minutes.
10,000 minutes?
Yeah, that too much?
That's pretty good. Kat, do you want to have a bit of a guess?
10,000.
You can go over and under.
No,
there,
you can't
plus
say 10,001.
one. Yeah.
I'll say 12,000.
12,000.
Yeah.
Roy O'Donovan is our winner. You got 10,554 minutes. Very close.
Unbelievable, isn't it?
Very, very
It
close.
seems only fair that you would get this right.
I should win my own contest, really, shouldn't I?
That was tough. Well done. Congratulations. A match ball for your little one to kick around.
Brilliant.
Brilliant, guys. Now there's nothing left to do but sit back and enjoy all the magic of the cup that's coming our way. And we will be back once again. For those of you that are listening to the podcast, make sure you jump online. Check out Adamo's feature down at Bonnyrigg White Eagles. It was brilliant. Despite the result, he had so much fun down there. They really adopted him. I'm sure he's been going to the NPL games now.
Yeah, I think he's still eating those meals.
It was his
from
first chivapi.
I can't believe that.
Can you believe he never had one?
It looked delicious.
It was good. The food's always good. The food's better. You would have learned that now.
Smells
sitting
great.
Olympic. How's the souvlaki down at Olympic?
It's good, yeah. Or the Euros after the game. Well, if we win, we get a Euros.
Yeah.
But
If you lose, they don't give you food?
Ah, well, they've stopped giving us drinks and food unless we get a win. So I'm a hungry boy if we don't win. So that's why we won the league this year. So
exactly.
I'm well fed. There you go.
Brilliant. So make sure you're checking that out, guys. Make sure you're following the podcast. We will be back before the quarterfinals when things start to get very, very serious. Kat, I'm sure we're going to see you popping up a lot more of these Nike events. Born Offside podcast. Keep doing amazing things. Thanks so much for joining us here today.
Thank you, Claudes. And nice to meet you, Roy.
You too. Hopefully not the last time, guys.
Exactly right. Hopefully not the last time, Roy. I'm sure whatever happens after football, whether it is coaching, we know that you're coaching at the moment as well. Whether it is media, I think, mate, you've got the face for TV, you've got the voice for it as well.
This is a podcast, yeah.
This is a podcast, yeah. This is a video podcast as well, Roy. Don't you worry about it. We'd love to see you popping up more. And of course, finals time now. Manly United this weekend. Best of luck for the rest of the finals.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. And thank you to all you guys watching from home. Be sure to check out all the games coming up on 10 Play. And if you do live anywhere near any of these suburban grounds, get down to the games and enjoy the magic of the cup. See you next time.